Hello everyone, welcome back to Train Sim World 3, and look at this, the first ever train set that I ever got when I was a kid. The Intercity 125, and here on the Midland Main Line, via Creators Club, we have got an Intercity 125 livery already created. The numbering on the front isn't correct. It says in the description that that will be sorted out at a later date. But I'm going to put the link to this if you want to pick this up. I'll put the link in the description so you can go to the Creators Club and you can pick up this this iconic livery. Let's just get underway. We're on the Midland Main Line. We'll get the doors open, get the headlights on. If I can get the right switch, there we go. Let's get the AWS on. Get it into forwards. We'll turn the gauge lights up. Ready to go. So we're doing a run on the Midland Main Line between Leicester and Nottingham. So we're at Leicester Station. We'll get the doors closed. There we go. Have the brakes off. I'm not running the DSD at the moment because the DSD is not working from the controller still. So I don't want to keep looking down at the pedal the whole time whilst we're driving. Plus I want to be outside of the cab quite a bit so we can look at the livery. So I've left that off for now until that's fixed. That is an acknowledged issue that will be fixed. Alright, so Nottingham bound Loughborough will be the first stop on today's little trip. I love the fact that this one's weathered. There are lots and lots of liveries now appearing already, not just for the HST for Midland Main Line, but also the 158. Go and check it out. I've got a really nice northern livery 158 which I've downloaded, and we'll run that one soon because that's a bit of a favourite of mine. You know, I like that northern livery. I've got that on one of my class 150s, and we've done a few runs in that over the last few months. So now I've got it for the 158. It's actually a nice livery. But this one, the weathering's great. It gives it that authentic feeling, doesn't it? Normally all the trains in Train Sim World are quite shiny, so it's nice to see this one with a bit of dirt. Looks like it's done a few runs. So iconic, this one, isn't it? And as I say, the train set is a Hornby train set. I've still got that in the loft. You know, it probably works. It's in the box. It's probably worth some money. I'm going to have to look it up. The box is slightly tatty, but it is still in the box. It's one of those things that you play with as a kid. You can't part with it. So it goes in a box somewhere. It ended up in my mum and dad's loft. And now it's transferred to my house when I moved. It's been in the loft ever since. I should really got that out and show my own kids, but it's a little bit late for that now. They're a little bit older and they're probably past playing with train sets. But as I've said in other videos, I quite a love affair with this one because of that. Even though I'd never seen one, but there is one of these right now at the Crewe Heritage Centre. So on my way to London, passing through Crewe a couple of weeks back, I did see one there at the Crewe Heritage Centre. Bit more shiny than this was though, and it was just this top unit as well. The rest of the train wasn't there. It was just this head unit. I immediately saw the colours. I knew what I was looking at. So it's nice to see one in the flesh. I must go and visit the Crewe Heritage Centre. It's been a long time since I've been there. and it's always good fun, and it's quite easy for me to get to. It's only about an hour's drive away, or it's even sooner by train. So I might even go and check that out this summer. So just accelerating up to 100 at the moment. Got a line speed of 110 with 120 coming up. We'll soon be at Loughborough. It's only just over 8 miles away. Great to run these HSTs somewhere else other than the Great Western. The Great Western's just pretty straight, isn't it? So it's nice to be able to see a little bit of a tilt here going around the corners. It's nice to actually run them on a route that has got a little bit more to it, you know. And when I say that, don't get me wrong, Great Western's a really, really good route. It's what many of us cut our teeth on, wasn't it, in Train Sim Worlds? But this one with curves, yeah, it's nice. We'll nip back into the cab for a short time because it is about the livery. Got the engine room light there. Let's have a look at that actually. Where would we see that? Would we see that in there? Probably we can't see it, can we? There's no actual window into the engine room through that door there. So I'm assuming that's just a switch, but can't do much with it. $113. We got 110 coming up, so I'll just take the power off for now. But these services you can run between Leicester and Nottingham actually very good. They're a good blast. You can get some more express services as well that are not stopping at Loughborough. I think there's one that just stops at East Midlands Parkway, and that's it on the way. So really good to be able to give the HST a good blast. And we're due in 4 minutes. So we did spend some time looking around the livery before we set off, so I'm not going to be too worried about the timings on this one. But if you've not been into the Creators Club yet since you've picked up the Midland Main Line, go and have a look. There's lots in there. Plenty of new scenarios, so you know you get 7 scenarios with the pack, but don't forget that is also extended by the Creators Club. Already lots of good stuff going on there. And go and see if your favourite HST livery is in there. There's so many of them. Go and have a look. There's sure to be one that you recognise. This is the most recognisable one to me. Looks pretty good. Right, 3.2 miles. As we travel down the fast lines, past all these smaller stations that the 158 is servicing. And it's a nice sunny day on the Midland Main Line. Now the dynamic weather is on, and this is set to the current date. I think it is I think before I popped in, I just left it on the current date, 21st of April. Clear skies. So the weather may change. It's sometimes, well, quite often not. It goes from sun to a kind of mist or fog, doesn't it? Actually, I'm noticing that more and more. I don't know if that is by design. I didn't used to notice the fog as much, but the dynamic weather does bring in the fog on a sunny day quite often, which is a bit strange. But you can always turn dynamic weather off if it doesn't suit you, so that's, you know, that's one thing. I'm going to put some brakes in because we're about a mile outside of Loughborough and we don't want to go shooting through. So we'll start bringing it down nice and easy. We're not too bad for time, due in at 40. Hopefully, we've got some people to pick up here at Loughborough. .500 yards. I've done that a few times as well. I've gone through to go to the full service brake, and I've slipped through on the triggers and gone to emergency. It is very, very easy to do that. So as a result, we've actually stopped on the emergency brake. We've stopped short, but not to worry. So if you are playing on a controller, let me know how it is for you, because that's at least the second or third time. I think every time I've done it, I've either been recording or I've been on a live stream. But it is quite slick between the triggers on the left side. But the one good thing about the HST is that the emergency brake is quite easily fixed. There's the East Midlands trains livery on the HST. Nice and shiny compared to this one though. Right, we're due off in a few seconds, so we'll get the doors closed. East Midlands Parkway is next in 6.4 miles. So we'll leave that one to go back the other way. If you do go on Creators Club and you do find a favourite on there, let me know about it and we'll run it on a stream. I usually go from, well, I go from what I like to, what I like to run myself, but then I also I tend to spend a lot of time in Creators Club around the popular pages. It's a good indication of what everybody else is picking up, what everybody else likes to run with. Because you know me, not being a trains expert, I don't often know which ones are the best to run. So, oh, here's the aforementioned fog, by the way. So, if there is any in Creators Club that you particularly like, not just for this route, but for any route, or if you've picked up a good scenario, let me know about it. I'm building quite a collection of Creators Club scenarios now, just to shake it up a bit, and then we're not always playing the standard stuff that comes with the route. But yeah, let me know about that. So it's more of a mist, isn't it? It's a morning mist. Just before 8:45 in the morning. Bit of mist. Fields are damp. Sun's starting to come out. Hopefully that will burn away the mist. But generally, yeah, when you have it set to clear on dynamic weather, the mist does appear. This is what I'm finding more and more. So I've probably put some miles in this week on the MML. There was a little patch actually the other night. We're playing on PS5. After the launch day, that evening actually, there was a small patch. I don't know what was in it, but that was to bring PS5 players up to the same level as all the other platforms. So I'm not entirely sure what changed in there. The first thing I looked for was the DSD, to see if that was work, but you do still have to use the pedal, unfortunately, which is doable, but obviously you need to be in the cab, and I like to spend some time out of the cab, especially with these videos where we're showing the livery. So all you have to do, if you do put the DSD on and you want to use it, and you can't use the controller button, so on PlayStation it's circle to cancel. You need to just click the pedal with X, as if you're doing it with your foot, as if the driver's doing it with his foot, which is what he would normally do. Depends how you play the game. If you're solidly inside, then that's fine, I think, but I like to do a bit of both, because I like to show off these wonderful liveries. Three miles to go. Yeah, see what I mean? The HST can sweep around these corners, where Great Western Express, it tends to be pretty straight, doesn't it? In fact, it's all straight, isn't it? I'm trying to think if there's anywhere where it isn't straight. I mean, you can, of course, there's another one going the other way. You can, of course, run these trains in scenario planner, so they don't have to stick to their original routes. So we got a mile and a half to go, so I'm going to take the power off and we can just idle. We are on a little downward slope. Due in at 48, so we've got a couple of minutes. So see, I put it in initial then, I went straight to train brake 2. So it can be difficult. You don't need much of a click on that left trigger to actually get into the emergency brake. See the cooling towers there looming up out of the mist? There's a danger we'll overshoot here, you know. We might just do it. I think we're safe. I was worried for a time. Let's just stop there. Get the doors unlocked. It's probably an issue, but doesn't seem to be anybody ever gets on at East Midlands Parkway. Don't know why that is. I'm sure that's a minor thing that can be fixed. There's our train, the 8:49 to Nottingham, on time. So we're direct to Nottingham once we leave the East Midlands Parkway. There's a 10:02 following us, and then 11:01, so it looks like an hourly service up to Nottingham via this route. Got about a minute till we can leave. A few scratches and dings in the front of this one. But the roof, the weathering on the roof looks really good. It does actually look like it's been out in all weathers there at the top. You know, looks like rust, doesn't it? We got diesel fumes, all sorts coming out of here, which has blackened it a little bit. And then even between the coaches, this is correct, isn't it? All this muck that you get. Anyway, it's time for us to get underway. I've just locked the doors whilst we were looking at that. We've got 7.7 miles up to Nottingham. So we can accelerate up to 120. Actually, it's becoming 110 quite soon. So we're due in at 9. So this is a good service that will get you in for work. If you work in Nottingham, that is. So this is the power station. You can see there is some track modelled around here, around the power station, that isn't accessible to players. That's why I'm wondering if that is going to be a DLC at some point. I hope so. It'd be a shame not to use the power station when it's all sat there. But if we look at the map again, you can see we're going off here up to Nottingham, but you can also come up here to Derby as well. So we've got a 70 here, just as we cross over the points there. So Derby is up that way, and this is us going off to Nottingham in 7 miles. So there was a few issues with this on the release day, and if you go to the forums, have a look on the forums. There was Jane is the CEO from Skyhook. She came into the forums to give everybody a personal message that they're working on all the issues that have been reported, and they'll be trying to get things out, trying to get fixes out as quick as possible. That was, that was good of her, and she's having a conversation with all the players on the forum. If you want to be part of that, just go over to Dovetail's forums and just add to the discussion there. It's nice that she's come in. You can tell she's quite passionate about the route and the product they've created, and yeah, she's come in and she's held her hands up and said there was a few things wrong, but don't worry, we'll work on it. We'll get it fixed. So you can't ask for more than that, can you? It is what it is now. So there's a few things, but I said in the live stream the other day, there's nothing that's really stopping me playing it. There's just a few niggles here and there. So it's all pretty, it's fundamental stuff. So hopefully it's not too hard to fix, and it can also be done quickly. But I don't think she's given any time scales on there, but I thought it was nice of her to come into the forum and talk to players directly rather than through Dovetail. So that's good. If you've got a company that wants to communicate that way, that's a positive sign. Well, it is for me. I can't speak for you guys, of course, but for me, I think it is. Because Skyhook want to be involved in more and more projects, obviously. So we got 3.8 into Nottingham. In our Intercity 125. I remember the old advert when I was a kid as well. This is the age of the train. They used to advertise quite a bit in the 70s, especially this high speed stuff. Seems like yesterday, when I were a lad. But isn't it strange that, you know, some of these trains, things do move on. You know, time does move on. But in something as serious as a railway and the amount of passengers they ferry about year to year, isn't it great that some of these locos, they're not just used for a couple of years, are they? They're still in use now. You know, how old is this HST now? Is it 50? Is it 50 years old? It's probably more, or just around 50. It's certainly around 50, I would say. Maybe just slightly less. And like I say, I'm not a trains expert by any means, so I'm kind of guessing. I'm going off, you know, what I know from what I used to see as a kid. But they're still being used. I mean, I know that, you know, they're not on the Great Western anymore, but they are in use. And the Pullman as well. I saw the Pullman the other week, and in that blue livery I was really impressed. I'm waiting actually for that livery to appear. That livery is going to appear on the Creators Club, I have no doubt of it. The Midland Pullman, that's going to be a good one to get. So if any of you guys are listening out there that make liveries and you want an idea for an HST, get the Pullman done, because I will definitely pick that one up. I'd probably run that one quite a bit. It is a nice livery. It's a nice coloured blue, that. Right, we've got a 40 coming up. So let me start bringing the speed right down. For this entry into Nottingham. We're only a mile away now, so we'll just bring it in just nicely. We should see the clock tower. Go under this bridge around the corner, we should see the clock tower on the station. Which I imagine to locals in Nottingham is very, very iconic. You start to see the city of Nottingham there around us. Platform 7 is what we're being given. Let's make sure we're at 25 miles per hour. So this has been a nice little trip in an HST livery that has given me quite a lot of nice memories. I have to say it has. I'm going to have to go to the loft. I'm going to have to dig out that train set and have a good look at it. It does come with a track. I have got a track. I'm going to have to see if I can get it going again from the nostalgia point of view. My train set is a bit more shiny than this though, but this looks really good with this book on. So if you've enjoyed this, don't forget the link will be below. Go into the Creators Club via the link. You can subscribe to this one, give it a go, enjoy it, and while you're in there, have a look at all the other HST liveries and the ones for the 158. There are so many. And this is Nottingham. Thanks everybody for joining me on this run. Hope you've had a good time. Take it easy, and I will see you in the next video.